Hi, I'm Ashunta Sheriff-Kendricks, and you're watching It Takes a Village.
Ashunta, thank you for being here. Thank you for being with me to be on It Takes a Village.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. We tried to do this last year.
Oh my gosh, I know.
And it just wasn't happening. So this is like kismet. It happened.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, thank you so much. Okay, so for the audience listening, we had an in-person live event in New York. It Takes a Village collaboration with Black Beauty Club. And Ashunta was so kind. She was in person. She brought her beauty line, Ashunta Sheriff Beauty, literally to, like, everybody got a chance to take home product, which was amazing. And then you also gave us your story and like 3 hours of your time.
It was amazing. I didn't know what to expect at that panel. And that panel like forged new friendships.
Yes.
Me and Tommy have become like good friends. We've actually gotten together a few times.
I love that.
And had like breakfast and had lunch. And so, it's just great when you guys come together for something and then it just leads into like friendship.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Tommy and Asmara, like the way they built that community with Black Beauty Club is so special. It's such a unique thing. They haven't brought it to LA yet. I'm trying to get them to bring it to LA.
They need to bring it out here.
They do.
It's needed.
They have to, because it's so special, because it's such an open space to have dialogue and conversation that's so free. And you shared so much, which was amazing. In fact, okay, I know I was saying we were going to talk more about your business than because I feel so many people have interviewed you and focused on where you come from and who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I just read your bio. You've been in the industry for over 20 years. You have such a breadth of knowledge of all different types of things. What do you think right now you're in a process of? Are you working more with your business, or are you working more with the personal clients? Like, have you made the shift, or what's happening?
The transition is like literally happening right now.
Okay.
And it's just the timing of the universe, right? So the industry went into a strike, so things got slow. We came out of a pandemic. Things weren't that busy. So it was like the perfect time to, launch a brand for me. And in the matter of from 2022, late 2021 into 2022, the brand like just really kind of picked up steam, and now it's like full on. And so I'm doing more traveling for me and the brand now than I am for me and work. And I'll come out. It's not that I'm retired, that people are like, girl, you at retirement. No, I'm not at retirement yet. I still want a department head. I still have projects that I, on my bucket list that I want to work on, like period pieces. I love period pieces or futuristic pieces. So shout out to me, directors, if you need a department head. But no, seriously, it has transitioned more into the brand.
Yeah.
The focus is on the brand because the brand is growing and it's taken on its own life force.
Yeah. So when you decide that you're going to be on set, do you have a plan for who's going to? I know, because I'm thinking about your wellness and like your mental health and your body health and all of that. Like when you're, do you have a plan for that?
When I did it last year, so
Okay.
last year was like a perfect example. I department head of Survival of the Thickest. I department head.
Shout out to Michelle Buteau.
Mm-hmm, I was department heading the Best Man Final Chapters, and that was all during the very inaugural part of the brand,
Wow.
And I was like getting the brand off the ground. And then last year I did Origin with Ava DuVernay, and it was out of the country. I was in Germany. I was in India, so I was doing my Zoom meetings like all that time difference, 8 hours time difference away.
Yeah.
When we were in Germany, so. You just have to do what you have to do. I was literally doing Talk Shop Live while in Berlin. I remember I was like on a whole different time. I like had to wake up at like 3 a.m. to do Talk Shop Live. Funny enough, we were filming a war scene and I wasn't working that day. So I was like, oh, it's easy. I'll just wake up at 2 and go do my filming or whatever. But yeah, you just do what you have to do. And I'm so passionate about the brand and what it stands for because it's so needed.
Mm-hmm.
People sometimes feel like, oh, the market is so oversaturated. Well, not by us. Not by us. It isn't. We're still less than 8% of shelf spaces.
Yep.
We still, we're getting less than 2% funding as Black. And I say us, I mean, as Black women founded creative brands in the beauty and wellness space, and even hair, we can add that in there. So, and meanwhile, we're a $1 trillion business, so we're spending the money, and yet we don't have the right representation. So I always say there is no such thing as being overly saturated. It's necessary for us to make products, make brands that are for us, but that also universally work for others.
Right. So you're saying for Black women. That's something that I also looked at too. So your client list has included people from all backgrounds. So when you made this line, was there a moment in your mind where you're like, okay, how do I make this just for Black women? Do I make this for, because I know that it's for everybody. It's designed by Black women, but for everyone, which I resonate with that so much. Because I even feel like this podcast is like that. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, right?
Yes. I mean, you're
Very aligned.
Are you not giving knowledge that will help people elevate or help them to connect or build community? That's colorless.
Absolutely.
There's no color in that.
Yeah.
You're giving tools and information that's for anyone.
Yeah.
And so I felt as a makeup artist who's worked with men, I work with children, I work with mature skin, I've worked with white, Black, Asian, everyone.
Yeah.
So my brand is a universal brand. And I think that the thing that happens when you're a Black makeup founder of a beauty brand, people look at you and they go, oh, that product is for Black women.
Yes.
They assume that.
Absolutely.
And I think we have to also break our minds out of that conditioning as well, because when I saw, Cindy Crawford selling me products, I didn't think that I couldn't use it. I was like, oh, that's L'Oreal product. I could use that. I never thought like that. And I think clearly we don't think like that because we shop.
Yes.
And we're spending dollars,
Yeah.
right, with non-Black brands.
Absolutely.
So I think that there's a conditioning that a lot of white women have to break their mindset out that when they see me, that the product is only for people that look like me. It's actually made for you. It's made for everyone because my client base reflects that.
Yeah. Has that been an easy sell, like even in store or in, to get the shelf space and things like that? Has that been an easy conversation with retailers?
I think that that's a conversation that my sister Danessa Myricks honestly is really kind of chipping away at that iceberg. I told her this literally at the last makeup show. I said, you're the Martin Luther King and I'm the Malcolm X. And we started laughing. But, I say that to say that she's out there like really chipping away at that whole ideology by just existing. And her brand is doing extremely well. And I told her that's amazing because it's actually setting a path for us to follow. And she was like really emotional about it. But it's true.
Yeah.
We need people to be the first to do something. I think Pat McGrath is a little bit different as a woman of color because she's British.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always felt this way that, when you come from across the pond, so to speak, you're not really seen as a Black American. So you don't have the Black American struggle. And so it's a different struggle. Not saying that they don't have struggle. Of course, Black British people have struggle, but it's not the same struggle as Black Americans have. And so it's also too, I think accent gives way to people to feel like you're less Black. It's just what it is. If I had an accent, it's like, oh, you're acceptable, you speak proper, and it's not that Pat's leaning into that. That's just who she is.
Correct.
And so she's always been mother, to all makeup artists, regardless of color. And she also has put her time in before Danessa to create that. So she would be, to me, the first person as a Black female that really set a precedent that it doesn't matter that she's a Black female.
Yeah.
Who cares, right? Pat McGrath is exceptionally talented. Her brain is insane. And I mean that in the most greatest way. She's a genius. And so she was the one, that allure audience got really comfortable seeing Pat's face and hearing her name. Fashion got really comfortable with that, and the world got comfortable with it. So she's the bricklayer, and then Danessa's behind her, and then we're just trailblazing behind them.
Yeah. Speaking of assisting, did you assist Pat?
I worked on Pat's team for several seasons. Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. I actually worked with her as well for a very, very short period of time. I think it was like about 4 seasons maybe I did. But yeah, what I really wanted to ask you about is Laura Mercier. Because she's such an enigma. Like, it's like you don't really know her. I actually didn't even know she was still around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's like, has this famous brand. It's after her name. And no one really knows her. And then she started in this really artistic, super avant-garde type makeup. And then like, she's very much known for this very natural face, which is so interesting. So did you experience natural Laura Mercier? Because I know you assisted her and worked with her. So can you tell me about that experience?
So with Laura, I actually worked for her at retail.
Okay.
And when Laura launched Laura Mercier, she only had 2 stores in the country. So at the time, she had Bergdorf Goodman,
Okay.
and she had Henry Bendel. And so I was a part of her Henry Bendel team, and I was coming fresh out of MAC. She was physically there herself. She was training all of us her technique, which was a glowing, radiant skin, fresh face technique. She went to art school, so she's a true artist, like an artist. But she had leaned into where, she was working the most, which was with Hollywood celebrities. She was Madonna's makeup artist. She was doing...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's in Truth or Dare. She's the makeup artist in Truth or Dare.
Okay.
And then, I know she worked with... what's her name? Ginger-haired, Julia Roberts, Michelle Pfeiffer. These are a lot of her clients that she had at the time that she was becoming really world-renowned for creating this glowing, fresh, radiant skin look. And so that's what she did with her brand. What she did was she pulled us out of the store to do fashion weeks with her in New York.
Yes.
So I got to work with her backstage on a few big shows. Dennis Basso first. I think it was Cynthia Rowley's show. She had like a bunch of big shows that we did. And she was really hands-on with her training. I mean, even down to at the counter, if we were training with her or if she saw us doing something on a customer, she had no problem coming over and go, no, not like this, and would correct you, which I was glad because I don't think I know everything. I'm a self-trained makeup artist who was a cultural anthropology major, so makeup wasn't something that was like I was doing it. It came to me because I was a creative kid. I knew how to draw. And so I leaned into doing makeup and I'm glad I did because it's been a blessing for me. But she was definitely hands-on with teaching you things, showing you things, correcting you. No. This is too strong. This brow, I need it softer. You're doing it like MAC.
Yeah, no, that's a look.
And that is a look.
Yeah, and that was a look then too.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. And I had to break myself out of the heavy foundation and just, the levels of layering that MAC brought into my life as a makeup artist. With Laura, it was much more simple. Like even her steps to getting a flawless face were like 6-7 steps. It was really, it wasn't like 20 products. It was really easy.
So when you met her, she was focused on, okay, with this brand, we're going to focus on the glowing skin. Mm-hmm. So did you ever see her do anything artistic?
Not while I was with her.
Okay.
No. I mean, I can say her cat wing liner is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I can say that.
I feel like that is
it's
excellent.
Excellence.
Yeah.
Excellence. Like one stroke, like excellent. She's very talented. Her lip lines are phenomenal, like how spot on she is with lining. So the artistry's there. Even when it's clean, it's really perfect.
Okay.
Really nice, beautiful makeup.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good. Speaking of like assisting, do you need assistance right now? Because I know people have to be in your DMs like, hey, so Ashunta, like, I've been thinking I've always wanted to be a makeup artist and...
I get DMs all the time. I get emails. I get text messages. Listen, I'm sure if they could do snail mail, they would send that.
I know.
I get hit up all the time, and the industry's changed. I tell people all the time since COVID, it's just a different animal. Like I was able to really elevate people's career when I first got into the industry. When I was with Alicia or with Carrie or with Rihanna, I would have assistants with me. And, literally that's how I found Jessica, Jessica Smalls or Chanel Mae Smith or Ashley Stewart, all of these, or Letitia Rankin, all of these makeup artists have become like really successful celebrity makeup artists in their own right. And that time is like over, like after COVID, people don't want other people around. There's all kind of embargoes on who you can bring around, who you can't, and even though the masking is done, it's just energetically, people don't want strangers around them. So even that's changed. And then because I transitioned more into TV and film, that's a different animal too. You have to be in the union to work in trailers with me or even on sets with me. So a lot of the makeup artists who are hitting me, if they're not union, I'm telling them like, try to find out the information that you need so that you can become a union member of IATSE, whether it's 706 or whether it's 798. or 476, whatever region you're in. Look up, these local websites, look up what the criteria is, because it's way different than when I joined in 2003. It's a long, long time ago. And
you've been in the union since 2003?
Yes.
798 or 706?
798. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and 798, okay, can you explain to me, is 798 up until like New Orleans, like that area?
So
or is there across, like how does that work?
So 798 is the eastern corridor. So it's, all the way up, all the way down.
Right,
eastern.
I knew that.
And that covers you all the way into Atlanta, Alabama, even New Orleans. But 706 also, works a lot in New Orleans too.
Yeah.
They do a lot of, and then 706, which is mainly the West Coast region.
Okay.
People don't like to cross-pollinate, like if you're in 706, you should be in your region, 798 in your region. But it happens because it depends on talent too, like who their main people are. Like if it's someone in their West Coast base and all their people are West Coast, but they're filming in Atlanta, they're bringing all their West Coast people.
Right.
There are, it's just what it is. But what they'll do is they'll try to hire maybe a local department head so that you're checking off that box, so that the background people and all of the other additional makeup artists that you're going to need can be in that local. So that's how they kind of like make the checks and balances. But that happens across the board with everybody. If a person from New York goes to the West Coast, they're going to more than likely bring their New York 798 team that's been with them to do whatever shows that are happening on the West Side.
Okay, I was always under the impression that celebrity makeup artists financially make more money than TV and film makeup artists.
Is that true? It depends.
If I'm talking about like top of the top, you're doing the top blockbuster film and you're doing like the biggest celebrity at the moment.
Depends. Okay. So for example, like me, when I had Empire, I was brought in out of town. So I was given a distant hire rate. When you're given a distant hire rate, then you're given a living allowance, you're given a per diem. So it pales in comparison to if I do an artist 2 times a week. Okay. If I'm working 5 days a week, I'm clearing 50, 60 hours a week, plus I'm getting all those other things on top of it. Then when they're doing EPKs on set, more than likely they're going to use who they have there instead of bringing outsiders in.
Can you explain what an EPK is?
So an EPK is like an electronic press kit for the TV show. So if someone's, let's say Empire, they need to do EPKs that week, they're not going to resource outside help when they have really great stellar hair and makeup people right there. So we get paid a separate rate for that too, even down to the ad campaigns that are happening when a movie comes out or a TV show comes out. They usually are filming that on big sets.
Okay.
We'll have like a Saturday where it's no work, and then that becomes like a full shoot day. And so that's additional money. So there's a lot of additional money that can be made on top of your salary when you're doing television and film. Mm-hmm. When you're a freelance makeup artist, to make that same type of salary, you've got to work a lot. You've got to be like super working.
More work? You think more hours also?
It's not so much hours because you're being paid on day rate, right? So, but no one's really getting the day rates like we used to get. Like I know this for a fact. Like
what day rates used to be.
Day rates when I came into the industry, people were getting $5,000 a day. $2,500 a day, nothing less than 15. Even to male grooming, nothing less than 15. It just didn't happen. And then when you're touring, like I was with someone like Alicia Keys, you're really making a lot of money. So you've got to tour. Back then you made great money. Hopefully, if you have the right artists. And then, you're doing all of the press for them for that tour. You're doing every ad campaign. So yeah, you're clearing a lot of money. And at the height of my career, I was easily making $200,000 to $300,000. Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. A year. Easy. Okay. So I made really great money, but that was touring. It was a lot of hours. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of traveling and a lot of no life.
A lot of no life.
So if you're an artist like that now, I would say you're possibly clearing half of that.
Wow.
Half maybe. And I mean, unless you're like with someone who's doing major luxury campaigns. And so you're getting that. And then you're getting the sponsorship dollars from Oscars and but I was getting all that too. So
yeah,
I wasn't even adding that in.
Yeah. Did you know that TV and film was going to be lucrative before you joined it? Was that part of your thought process or what brought you into it?
I talked with a lot of people who did TV and film, and one of the things that they always told me with television and film is you're going to have to work so much harder freelancing to make what you're going to make in TV and film. And also, you're going to be vested, you're going to get benefits, you're going to have insurance, you're going to have policies, that help you with retirement. So it's really setting you up for your future. Whereas freelancing it could be lucrative this month, but next month it could be terrible.
Right.
So it offers a lot more stability. And I think as you grow older, and I had my kids are growing older and they have different needs than when they were younger. I can't just shop at Target for my kids now. They need size 13 Jordans, and my son.
Like, we have preferences.
Yeah, like,
and they're not at Target.
Yeah, and they're not at Target except for some underwear, some t-shirts, and socks. But they're like, no, Mom, I need these things. So they have their needs, what they want. So you have to think differently. Like, I could shop at Target till the cows come
Me
home.
too.
But
I just bought a denim shirt from Target the other day.
Teenagers want vape and all kind of stuff, and not that you're getting them everything, but it's like, okay, I don't want you being made fun of too. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of what you want. But yeah. So you have to think differently, and also too, just like you said about wellness and lifestyle. The lifestyle that I led younger, doing world tours, being on planes every 2 and 3 days, it's so taxing on you.
It's hard on your body.
Yeah.
Did you have something in place at that point? I don't think people were really talking about wellness as much. I mean, I know that we're not talking exactly about the exactly. We're not really talking about too much of the past, because I feel like you literally have been on a plane recently. But like early when you first started.
Mm-hmm.
I know you probably maybe felt it in your body. Did you do anything different at that time, or were you just kind of like, eh?
No, actually, one of my tours when I came off of, I was really sick, and so I went to a holistic doctor in Harlem, and he, it was just like the best decision I could have made. Like, I had my blood tested, and he found all kind of metals in my blood, and I was lacking, magnesium and vitamin D, and he was like, "You're really like close to like the C word." Like, if you don't because he could see from the blood, like literally, like the blood tells the story, as he would say, because he's a holistic practitioner. So he's like, when you're really deficient in these things, that's when that comes.
Yeah.
I was like, what? So he was like, let's get you together. So he put me on like a metal cleanse. It wasn't anything about like parasites, thank God, but metal was a big part of my issues, and then making sure I had enough vitamin D. I went on a series of colonics. It was just a whole regimen I was on for months. I was drinking like psyllium husk and bentonite shakes.
Wow.
It was disgusting.
It was like cleaning you completely.
Everything out. And honest to God, like that's one of the best cleanses I've ever done. I was on it for a total of 56 days. Yep. And it really just reversed. Like, when he took my blood at the end, and he was like, this is what your blood should look like.
So were you eating food at the same time?
I was eating pretty much a raw vegan diet.
Wow.
And I've done that cleanse a couple of times now in my life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell when your body needs it.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things that, I've done a lot of research on you. I feel like because I know you a little bit better, I feel like people don't know how like you're really into wellness, and you're really like kind of like granola. Like, you know
I'm
what I mean?
well, people who know me, they know I'm such one of my friends, Keith, we used to always go out when we were younger, me, him, and my bestie, Worry. We're all best friends. And he'd be like, I don't want to go to one of them granola crunchy clubs because, y'all like that beady backpack music. Okay, whatever, Keith. But, me and my bestie, Worry, we love some Rich Medina. We used to always go to APT. And, we're definitely going to be in that kind of crowd, like where it's a little granola-ish.
Yeah.
But
wait, what's Rich Medina?
Rich Medina, shout out to Rich Medina. He's a world famous DJ.
Okay.
Who spins a very eclectic. Anyone who knows music knows Rich Medina. He's phenomenal. If he comes to Los Angeles, go.
I gotta go.
He's amazing.
Okay.
And he's a part of a group of DJs in New York, which I believe I forgot what they call themselves, but it'll come to me after this interview. But they always do. I know Stretch Armstrong is a part of that. It's Rich Medina, and it's someone else. Also, D Nice is a part of it.
Okay.
The Incredibles, I feel like, is their name. Okay. But they're like world renowned as well. Like, they spin as a group, and then they spin separately. But yeah, anyone knows that those parties, they know exactly the type of music. So, you're going to hear, of course, like your Frankie Beverly and Maze, but you're going to hear like house music. It's just very It's very beady backpack, definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, okay. That I know.
a lot of De La Soul, a lot of that native tongue era. But so yeah, I am very granola. I've always been that way. A lot of people may not know that I was a vegetarian even in high school. I was a vegetarian in high school. I became a vegan when I became a young adult. And then I kind of came back off veganism when I got pregnant with Nami, and then went
For
back
cravings?
to craving.
Yeah.
My family's from the deep south, so listen.
Yeah. No, I
your mom's making some baked smothered chicken in the kitchen. You're like, oh, I need that. But
yeah,
I've been in and out of the vegan lifestyle for a very long time.
Okay, I want to talk to you about, you have a new brand. Well, not new, but like when I think of you, I remember seeing you at the makeup show with the brand that you had prior, the Perfect Face.
Perfect Face. Yep.
Okay, Perfect Face by Ashunta.
Yep.
Sheriff. And I remember thinking, this is so cool. And I remember like I came up to you and I think we were like, I think I was following you and then you like kind of recognized me and I was like, oh my God. Like, and it was one of those moments where I was like, but you're such a nice person. I just wanted to tell you that because like, I was new to New York at this point, and I think I was just starting doing like starting to do creator work, and then I tried some of your. First of all, by the way, that stick was amazing.
The stick was phenomenal.
The stick was phenomenal. Like the 2 shades on both, it just made sense.
So good.
It was so good. I'm not going to spend too much time on the formulation. I hope you bring that back. That's all I'm going to say.
Working on it.
Okay, perfect. I hope you bring that back. But a big part of your story, I know, is about the loss of that company. Could you touch on that briefly?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So Perfect Blend, Perfect Face was the company. Perfect Blend was the stick by Ashunta Sheriff. And it was something I dreamed about.
Yeah.
So I had a dream. I drew a tool. I showed my then manager, agent. She was like, okay, let's look into this. She started doing some research. No one had it. I was sent by Mally Ronkel. Shout out to Mally, one of my people who has an amazing line called Mally Beauty. She was really kind enough to share this man's information with me named Charles Chang. And so I went to Charles, showed him my drawing. He was like, this doesn't exist. And I was like, okay. He's like, but if anything changes, I'll let you know.
Is Charles an inventor?
Charles is a packaging manufacturer.
Okay.
And so he knew whatever packaging existed in the world, he knew. Because he pretty much like 80% of Estee Lauder, 80% of L'Oreal, like does the packaging, like knows packaging.
He was like, I know that this is not out there.
Yeah, so he was like, I know this is not out here. So I was like, oh. He said, but this is really a good idea, Cut to, he goes to a manufacturing convention overseas. I believe it was in Korea. And they came back. And they had the component. Literally, it was months later. He reached out to me and my agent then and said, I can take a meeting. I think you guys want to see this. And showed me the original prototype, which was white. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, can this be color injected to be the color I want? He was like, we could do anything with it. And I was like, what? I was like, this is what I dreamed of. It's a double-ended foundation stick. And the rest is history. Basically, we, went to a chemist. I did formulation. I went out there constantly to make sure that even though it was 6 shades, that it was 6 mighty shades, because we weren't dealing with inclusion the way we are now, where you have to have 20 plus shades in a brand, for people to feel like, okay, the brand is representing everyone. And we know that's just not even enough. Even me, I don't have enough shades. We do what we can when we launch products, but this was like really revolutionary because it covered a nice range of people.
It really did.
It was kind of amazing. And no matter what people like, no matter what I do, it just blends right into the face. So the formulation was just stellar. And we got picked up by QVC. I went on QVC in June 2012. Sold out, had a 5-star product. They called nicknamed my stick, it's like butter baby stick.
I love that.
Because it melted into everyone's skin like butter.
No, being something that QVC loves is like,
it's a big deal.
How did you feel when they told you that?
I, had several meetings, and mind you, I just had the stick and the brush. That was it.
That was it.
It was, and they just were like, "This is insane. We love this stick," and they were
I have chills.
and they were ready to grow with me. I was one of the first few Black brands to go on QVC at that time. So it was like really revolutionary. And then I was a Black woman, that's on TV demonstrating the makeup, which is revolutionary too. They didn't have a lot of Black makeup artists. Like now they have tons. They have like Cindy Watson and all these other amazing makeup artists who've gone on there to represent different brands. So it was just a lot of check boxes coming off. And then, went back a second time and got hit with a trademark infringement lawsuit, which was terrible. I laugh at it now, but it was a lot of tears. It was a brand that was called Perfect Face. My partner at the time didn't do due diligence on trademarking. He thought that just trademarking, my name was enough, and it wasn't. We had to trademark everything. And this is 2012. Like, to be honest with you, like the amount of wealth of knowledge that we get from social media on business is insane.
Yes.
I wish TikTok existed.
Like, I would have known.
I would have known. I would have known,
Yeah.
because literally I can sit on TikTok and look at a bunch of business talks and really gain like almost a master's degree. No offense to master's degree students out there who've done the work, but you really can, because a lot of these people who are successful entrepreneurs, like I plan on being, and I believe that I am, are sharing the wealth, and nobody's gatekeeping, and everyone's just giving information out like, hey, apply to this grant, do this, do that. And so, I just wish I had that help. But yeah, I ended up filing bankruptcy, having to get all of my product out of QVC's warehouse, which was crazy. How
much did you have in there?
I had a lot. I still have sticks left to this day.
Like cost-wise.
At least $1 million in merchandise. At least.
Ashunta.
Yeah.
Real tears.
Real tears. Yeah.
How did you pick yourself up after that?
That happened crazy enough. That was a crazy year for me. Let's dip into that for a second.
Okay.
I had a crazy automobile accident that almost took my life in February 2012. Then I ended up going on QVC, then getting pulled off and having a trademark infringement lawsuit. Couldn't really work because of my car accident.
Right.
So I was really kind of banking on lifting my brand up to be able to take care of myself and my family. And then that didn't happen. So now I'm like not really able to work. Alicia had stopped using, all of us at that time.
Yeah.
Because she
went no makeup.
It wasn't even about no makeup.
Okay.
The real thing was that she wanted to try other people.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
And, she eradicated the entire glam squad like the same day. And
everybody. Hair, makeup, styling,
hair,
nails,
makeup, style, same day. We were in Canada, never forget it, for Keep a Child Alive for an event. And, she had a talk with each of us. And I respect it. At least she had a talk.
Personally.
Some people don't talk to you. Some people just stop using you. She at least cared enough about us to say, I love you guys, but I really want to try new things, try new people. And, it hurts like hell, when you're with someone over a decade and they tell you that. So I was coming off of a car accident, coming off of that. Then I get on QVC. I'm like, finally, God, and then that happened. So talk about depression. I'm
like about to cry right now.
I had a terrible depression. I gained probably 100 pounds over a course of a couple of years. My weight just went up dramatically. I was just eating everything. I was totally and I laugh about it now, but I was just self-medicating through food because I didn't know what else to do. Work was kind of slow. My best friend, Rory, God bless you, Rory, I'm saying this to you, he got an American Express card for me. Like literally co-signed me on an Amex card so that I could be able to get food. So that I could be able to, go to some jobs, because some work was starting to pick up and I didn't have money and, I had to wait to get paid. Again, you're freelancing.
What a friend.
It's my brother. He really looked out for me.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Really.
It's like emotional.
He looked out for me and his god kids, who are not even officially his god kids, but he like looked after them, and therefore he was always their God, father. But, at the end of the day, like I had that kind of love and support. And from my mom, when we talk about the village, these are the people who are my village. And even, Taraji stepped in knowing that she was a very, very close friend, and saw and knew everything that I was going through and was like, listen, you come do Empire with me, because it had just got picked up. And I couldn't go to first season because Lee didn't want me. He had people there. He was like, I've got my people.
Yeah.
And I ended up being booked on all her press. She made sure of it. So all the worldwide press, I was doing it for Empire. And Lee was like, oh, okay, now I understand. We're going to bring her. So I got brought on, second season to be with Cookie. And I thank God that was like all of that happened at such a pivotal time in my life between 2012 and 2014, of just complete lows. Can you imagine too, like, this is why I also tell a lot of young artists, and this is no shade to the artists who do this because I've done it. Being a personal is amazing, but when that person stops using you, if you don't have other clients, that's it.
Yeah.
Like I had Rihanna as a client, but I was always turning down because I was with Alicia and I prioritized Alicia because of my history with Alicia.
Mm-hmm.
So Rihanna was a new client for me and I couldn't be with her the way I was with Alicia. It just wasn't possible. So, Alicia's schedule, I was embedded in her schedule and in her life.
Mm-hmm.
And, that after doing that twice with her and Taraji, I would never be someone's personal ever again because, and that's not what happened with Taraji, where it was a case of her stopping to use me. I chose to go out and become a department head, and I text her and said, things are tight. We're in the pandemic.
Yep.
I need to, get out there and work. I need to keep my benefits up with the union. I need to department head, and she respected that. And so that's why I left being her personal. But at the end of the day, with Alicia, that was a big thing for me. Like, oh, I can't go through that again because you're putting all your eggs in one basket, really. And you really shouldn't do that with anyone.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to work, because, anything can happen. That person can just have a change of mind and you can't be upset with the person. I mean, you're going to be.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But you can't. Yeah, you're human, but you have to respect that this is a person's.
It's like a rebrand.
Yeah,
basically. Like
it is.
I want to change my look. I want to change my. It's like changing your website.
Right. I may change my hairstylist. I may have the same hairstylist for 15 years, but then all of a sudden, I don't wear dread extensions anymore, and now I want to weave. So I'm gonna go find that master weave artist that I want to work with. It's like that for us. We may shop at one store, but now all of a sudden we like this store better. So it's just when you take that personalization out of it, the ego.
Yeah.
I'm always checking my ego. And, I give myself a few days to just cuss and, get it out my system.
It's good though, because I feel like that's healing. If you hold it inside. I was actually having a really good conversation with a close friend of mine the other day. And she was like, sometimes, Delina, I feel like you kind of go, oh, it's fine. Like, and you just pretend like you're over it. But you need to like yell about it with me sometimes.
Yeah.
Like just let it out.
Yeah.
And don't like just be, because sometimes when you're upset, if you hold it inside, that's also what creates illness.
Yes, that makes you sick. That creates sickness. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And then even like, I've been talking with another friend about like your throat chakra.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you're always getting sick and your throat's always like, it's like, why is it always so scratchy? It's like, are you saying what you really need to be saying?
Because you're not saying because you're not speaking your truth.
Mm-hmm.
You're not speaking your truth. And, we dance around it because I think everyone's so sensitive. But the reality is that we have to get back to just being honest with people and telling people the truth on so many levels. It's creating problems, societally, where like kids can't even be critiqued or they want to jump up and kill a grandmother because the grandmother's saying turn a video game off, or these different incidents that are happening where children can't even be corrected.
Absolutely.
It becomes so depressing for them to be put in the right direction or told that's wrong or you could do better, and it's like devastating, and that's not healthy.
Absolutely.
We need to be able to like I like raw honesty. It could be brutal. And even my husband we have a thing. Do you want brutal honesty?
Yep.
Or do we want to be superficial here? And so sometimes I'm not ready for it, but I'm like, just give it to me. Just give it. Just take, and I'll take the brutal honesty. And my husband's honesty is very brutal. And that's one of the reasons why I love him so much, because he is going to give it to me straight every time.
I love
every time. No holds bars. Even if I'm like, really, I don't want to hear this,
Yeah.
He's going to make sure that, no, I'm going to tell you what I feel, what I see, and what I think you need to be checking for,
I want to take you back to, like, when you say brutal honesty, I'm also thinking about the first time that Taraji experienced your lashes. Can we talk about this moment?
Yes.
Because this was like a big deal.
It was.
Because not everybody has a prior client, you know what I mean? Or anybody that they've ever worked with. It's hard to get your friends to talk about your stuff.
No,
you know what I mean?
I tell people this all the time. The people who make you successful are strangers. They really are. And it's your friends, and I don't want my friends will hear this and be like, that's not true. My friends, my village supports me. They absolutely do. You know, y'all were at TJ Maxx and Marshalls this weekend buying sponges.
Okay, we need to talk about TJ Maxx. I'm putting a pin in that because that's TJ Maxx and Marshalls being able to sell Ashunta. You're selling just the sponges
just
there?
the diamond sponges and the 6-pack of the triangle puffs.
Okay, wait. Now I'm like, wait, should we talk about this? Should we go back?
Okay,
wait. Let's talk about the lashes first.
Let's talk about the lashes.
Okay, and then we'll go back.
So in late 2021, I basically during the pandemic took seed money from my husband to start my magnetized lash line.
Were you guys already together?
We've been married already, yeah. Yeah,
That's
we got married in 2019.
Really cool.
We got married in 2019, and we've been actually together since 2014, like 2015.
Yeah,
2015.
Yeah.
Was when we first became a couple.
And he was like, "I got you." He was
he's like, you know, I didn't know I was going to work, and we didn't know what was happening with the pandemic, and things weren't like the same. You know, I was coming off of some jobs, but there was nothing on the horizon, and so
how much of an investment is it to start?
It was like $5,000. It was about $5,000. That wasn't a huge investment.
Yeah.
It got me enough inventory because I had to be able to customize.
Okay.
I did the research on the type of lashes I wanted. I went right to Alibaba. You know, people go, how did you start? I went to Alibaba and I searched day and night. I would be under covers at night, like with my phone. With like searching, scouring, because I knew what kind of lashes I wanted. I wanted magnetic lashes, but I wanted vegan magnetic lashes that had a real luxe feel to them. And I found a manufacturer. And guys, don't sleep on Alibaba. It's amazing. Alibaba is fantastic. You just have to be patient and do the sourcing. And once you find the factories, game over, you know, and then once you're at like bigger quantities, you're off Alibaba. Now you're doing it through your email and it's officially like, you know, real brand transactional work.
Alibaba is can you explain what Alibaba is?
So Alibaba.com is basically like a whole supplier's universe. You know, think of Amazon, but Alibaba is like even bigger. Okay. They sell container homes. They sell, you know, trade show equipment. They sell, you know, all kinds of products like hair, makeup, everything, clothing. So
how did you know how to do this?
I just researched. And again, TikTok.
No, this is amazing. I'm so inspired by you.
Like TikTok was really like just starting and I was like, whoa, what is this? You know, like, what are they talking about? And I just started researching. And
so you got a master's.
I got a master's in
business TikTok.
Yes, in business TikTok. And then, you know, found a manufacturer and they sent me a few samples, tried them on, and I was like, holy, these are good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wearing them now. I love my I love my magnetic lashes. I couldn't get the word out. I'm so excited by it. So then we did the official order.
Yeah.
And I, you know, designed the boxes and everything. And I was like, oh, this is cool. So I sent Taraji some.
Is pink your favorite color?
Purple's actually my favorite color.
Purple's your favorite color.
Purple's my favorite color, and anything in the purplish family.
Okay.
So it could be like magenta kind of gets in there because it has the undertones. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started off with the magenta and black box.
Okay.
And Taraji saw me like posting about them and she was like, send me some of those lashes. And so I sent her like 6 pairs and I didn't know she was going to do a video. I'm just up one day, you know, walking my dog like everyone was during the pandemic. I saw more of my neighbors than I've ever seen in my life. Everyone be walking their dogs for hours, dog parks, you know, It's just, hey guys, what are we doing today? We're walking our dog.
Yeah.
So I'm walking my dog and my phone dies. And I was like, how's my phone dead? I just got up and I'm just getting out the house. And so I was like, well, whatever, I'll walk him, get back home, plug it up. And I just see I had, you know, launched my little Equid website. I had my one little product. It was 1 page. And boom, boom, it was just, and it died again. And I was like, what is happening? And I had like over $50,000 in orders by the end of the day. And I did not have $50,000 in products. I didn't even know that you could turn the products off, like, because I was so green to having an e-commerce. I didn't know, like, you could stop the sales, or I didn't know to do anything. I was just like, what the heck is happening? And then when I saw how many orders I had to fulfill, I was like, well, I only have this many boxes. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
So I immediately contacted my manufacturer and said, I'm going to need this many boxes. And she said, that's great, but we're going on Chinese holiday. So you're going to have to wait. And I was like, well, how long am I going to have to wait? She said, well, we'll start manufacturing when we come back around towards the end of the month. It'll be like February 18th, 19th, 20th. And I was like,
and
what
was it when you?
This was like January 24th. It was like that's a long time.
That's a long time.
So I had to do emails to everybody after the group of people that got all their lashes, sending everybody emails, telling them they're going to get their product. I hit the Chinese New Year. I've never experienced. I was very raw. I was like, I've never done this before. I never knew that there was such a thing. And everyone was pretty patient. And, I had a few like gnarly clients who were cursing me out or whatever.
There's always a few.
And I got the product in literally early March. It came after my birthday. So we're talking like people waited 6 weeks. And I had done a lot of returns. I had done a lot of reimbursements to people, refunds. And when the orders came, I sent it even to some of the most angriest people. I still sent them their lashes. Yep.
It's amazing.
And I said, I'm sorry it didn't work out, but here's the lashes anyway. I think you're going to love them. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those customers came back and bought again.
I love that.
So,
Your customer service is top tier.
Yep. I believe in having top tier customer service. I did work retail. So we know the customer, right? Mm-hmm. It's always right.
Yeah.
And they don't care about your shipping issues. Yeah. They ordered a product, they put money into you, they want their product. And so, there was videos of me crying on Instagram at times. I would be like, I'm so sorry. Yeah. I didn't know it was going to be, I was just so emotional about it.
I'm so blessed, but I'm so sorry.
I was like, this is terrible.
Yes, no, I can imagine.
And there was.
Did it keep you up? I'm sure it kept you up.
Oh, it kept.
Because you were like, I have
a third-degree burn from it. Yeah, I have a third-degree burn on my boob.
Wait, how?
Because of the stress. I was cooking in the kitchen and I was crying and I was making macaroni and cheese and I was making some comfort food.
Yeah,
and I literally went to go do my normal toss and I tossed too high and the macaroni because I was over the thing and it just flipped up on my breast. Third-degree burn on my left boob. But it healed. It healed well thanks to my natural remedies. I can see it. My husband can see it, but a stranger wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, down to the white meat. It was terrible. And it was on both, but it was like, this one was like this big.
Yeah.
And this one was like small. And he was like, oh my gosh, babe, you can't let it stress you. People get their product, they get their product, but you don't need to be like injuring yourself.
No.
But that's how serious I took it. And so for all the people who bought magnetized lashes, I thank you guys. I just want to say that, that third-degree burn, it was painful, but I know some of you guys were really pissed at me, and I'm just happy we were able to make you happy.
Yes, I am happy that, listen, it's so cool to also hear just the story of, obviously not the third-degree burn. Right?
The things that people go through.
Yes, the things that people go through. And then, just also how your day your life could just change in like an instant.
An instant change. I didn't know this was viral. That's a total viral.
And it's a viral moment that inspire people into action.
Yeah.
Which isn't always the case. A lot of people want to share things, but they actually went to the website and bought.
Yeah. So and it was a rinky-dink website.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and they support it. And,
so
major love to Taraji for she just did it out of love. Taraji. She just did it. I didn't ask her to do it. I didn't say, Taraji, you need to do. She literally did it out of love.
Can we talk about this product real quick? The vegan matte lip
cream. So
we're
renaming them to vegan matte cream. You know why?
Cream. Okay, why?
Because they're multi-purpose.
Oh, because we can use it on
you can cheek. Do you know how gorgeous Earth is on the eyes?
Okay, you know what?
With a
that's what I'm gonna do next.
What?
Because right now I'm wearing Earth.
Girl, listen.
On the lips.
So I'm a makeup artist to the bone. So I'm always using every product in multi-use ways. Even products they say this is only this way, I'm always gonna find another way to use it. And when we created a lot of the products in the line, I just started playing with them in different ways, especially doing the makeup show. Sometimes you forget a product and you're like, oh, you know what? I don't have this brow product. I'm going to use Raven. I'm going to use Raven with an angle brush and I'm going to use it and draw it into the brows.
Raven's the black one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where I've kind of really first realized whoa, this is amazing. This is amazing. I have Foxy Brown in my eyes right now. That's what I use for my brows.
Oh,
yep.
It looks so good.
Yep. I put it on my lips. I do it as a little line. Today I did a little bit more than a line, did more of an ombre lip. But
in the center.
Yeah, in the center. And then in the center is actually just like a clear lip gloss that I put on.
Oh, nice.
Yep. It's like a light pinkish tone. It's not super clear, but like light pink.
Okay.
And I just put that on and it's from Wells Oil, Well,
okay.
WEIL.
Okay.
Oil, lip oil.
Okay.
It's a natural brand. If I'm doing lip oils, they have to be something like organic because I tend to lick my lips a lot. And I think about
what's going in the
lips,
body.
what's going in my mouth, but also skin too, like our face
Yeah.
being the largest organ on our body. That's, that has pores that's eating so much in. So that's why I really think about like the type of oils I put on my skin, the types of lotions that I'm using. I tend to live in a shea moisture, shea butter world, so, and a lot of home whipped shea butters. Like I don't do like anything that's like over the counter, like skincare. No, because I also realized too, talking to a friend of mine who's an actual scientist, black skin is actually like different.
Yeah.
Like it's thicker.
Yeah.
So we have to really have really good hydration, and a lot of the lotions that are made like I call them over the counter or drugstore type of products. They're
More
not really,
hydration.
they're not hydrating enough for us. That's why our skin just eats it. So yeah, I've learned a lot about skin. And so even down to the blush, like thermal blush, for example.
I love that blush.
Blush oil works amazing on black skin, on people in general, because it's like a serum almost to the skin. It has hyaluronic in it. It has neem leaf and sunflower seed and like really good,
antibacterial.
Yeah, exactly. Really great ingredients in it, skin healthy ingredients. But that hyaluronic plumping aspect, that's going to retain the moisture and the plumpness in your cheeks. That's where you want it. So, I think of all that stuff with brand creating and product creating.
Okay, can we talk about TJ Maxx, Marshalls? Like, how did you think about that?
So,
because that's so genius.
So
because we're in there. I'm in there.
I know. I'm about to go there. I think I'm going to do a drive-by when I leave to see if they're in the LA stores, because I know where they're. I know I've seen.
Are they in every store?
They're in select stores all around the country, but I've seen people in Atlanta, people in North Carolina, people in DC, New York. So far, those are the main cities I've seen it in. So I need to see about LA.
Okay.
I need to check a Marshalls out here and a TJ Maxx. But how did I think about it? So I'm a member of Brain Trust. Do you know Brain Trust?
I don't. Tell me.
So Brain Trust is founded by Kendra Bracken Ferguson, and it's an organization, and Lisa Noble as well. They're the co-founders of Brain Trust. Melissa Hibbert, do you know her?
Yes.
So she's the president, Melissa Hibbert, of Brain Trust.
Okay.
And what it is an organization where we are a brain that we trust together in terms of moving forward from being retail businesses, whether it's in wellness, whether it's in skincare, whether it's hair care, whether it's makeup, or even body. Feminine needs. We're all like a collective together, and we help each other. So we are Brain Trust. And they do these different bazaars throughout the years. They do a Founders House Bazaar. They do one in Martha's Vineyard. They did one in Los Angeles. They've had it in New York. I did the one in Los Angeles last year. And I was just really blown away. Like they were saying to us, like, these people are going to come, and they really came. So they were like, buyers from Nordstrom's are coming, buyers from TJ Maxx, buyers from Macy's, buyers from Ulta. And I was like, okay. And they were there. They were there.
You were actually there.
Yeah, I met.
Is this for Black women specifically?
It's for I would say BIPOC women, because there are non-Black women in a part of Brain Trust. So yeah, we were there, a collective of the Brain Trust members who chose to do that Founders House. And Sir John was actually a speaker at that Founders House, and they had other like big speakers talking. And while they were all doing talking, people were perusing through, checking out the brands. And TJ Maxx came through with like a really deep squad. And they were like, we love your products. I'm showing them all the neon stuff. And they were like, this is amazing. And so the buyer was like, I really love these sponges. And the other buyer, that was for accessories. And then the beauty buyer was like, I really love these highlighters. And so actually we're in there with our highlighters too. Our pink highlighters. They're in there as well. So the reason how I made this decision, because a lot of people advise me against it. They're like, you're a makeup artist, and, that's not really like gonna, make Ulta or Sephora really jump at you. Well, honestly, I wasn't thinking about Ulta and Sephora, and I don't mean that in any kind of shady way. It's just I believe in crawling before I walk, and I also believe that beauty brands should be affordable. That makeup shouldn't be such a luxury that I'm so priced out that people can't afford it. Right? I shop in TJ Maxx, I shop in Marshalls. I'm a mom, so it all just made sense for me. How did I make it happen? My team was like, well, we can do it if we do it at a value. And so that's how we came up with it. Instead of selling the one sponge, we're selling a value pack. And it works out great. And I would love to have that value pack in other places. But it has just been, a great relationship for me as a new brand, for them to say, like, hey, we're gonna try your products out. And that's what I love about TJ Maxx and Marshalls too, is that they're really changing the dynamic of their entire beauty selection and their skincare selection. I mean, it's Korean brands in there. They have snail cream in there, like
Wow.
stuff that's hard to find, like in regular stores. Like they have it.
Their buyers are really interesting.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
There's
Like they're
Fenty.
really thinking about the actual person who goes in there versus like the old archetype, I think, of who they used to think was in there.
Yeah. The thing is TJ Maxx is a treasure hunt. That's what she explained to me. And so it's about discovery.
That's true.
It's about going in and discovering products or discovering that, oh, I could get these True Religion jeans at this discount. And a lot of people didn't realize a lot of wealthy women shop in TJ Maxx.
Absolutely.
Just
How do you think they stay wealthy?
Right. They save money.
Yes.
They save money. And I learned that too. And so, some of the best TJ Maxxes in New York City are out in Long Island or out in Jersey, where around those zip codes where real money is. And you go there, you're like, holy moly, they got Louis Vuitton bags in here,
Wow.
So,
wait, I didn't even know this.
they're TJ Maxx that have high-end stuff. Yes.
I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's like Century. I think of Century 21 and TJ Maxx as really very much the same.
Okay.
For New Yorkers who know what Century 21 is.
Yeah.
We all know it's a gem.
It's a gem.
It's a gem. TJ Maxx can be a gem just like that.
Yeah, we almost lost that gem.
I know.
But it's back.
It's back.
Thank God.
I know. My mom was taking me to Century since I was a baby.
Yeah?
Yeah, I grew up. My mom used to work at Pearl Street, so it was right across the street.
Okay.
So yeah, I know Century. Like that's where we went school shopping.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm that kid. My mom always liked us to have fly stuff. I got my first Gucci bag at Century. When I was like 14 or 15, my mom bought me like a cute little Gucci bag, and like Gucci rain boots.
Mm-hmm.
Century had all that stuff, and so there was no reason you couldn't be fly, but fly and affordable. So I believe in that. I don't think we should go out and spend full price all the time. I mean, and if you do, it better be really worth it.
Absolutely. Okay, I have one last question.
Okay.
It's about your village. Is there anybody, this is so hard because I know you have so many really integral people in your life. Is there anybody that you really feel has really helped you?
Oh my gosh.
That you'd like to talk about?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it could be a few.
Yeah, it's a few, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to Jonathan Reed and Anita Comtois and Ileana Warshaw. We make Ashunta Sheriff Beauty.
Okay.
So I may be the brand face and the majority owner and all of those things, but that they are my family. I couldn't do this without them. I couldn't do this without my daughter Nami, without Alejandra Hernandez, without Destiny Mendez, my three troopers who you met, actually. Funny enough, they were there at It Takes a Village when we filmed. Yeah. And they're like my troopers. They do anything and everything to make sure, things are moving ahead, down to like satisfying TJ Maxx order. Those girls packed it themselves because we haven't gotten into fulfillment. We're moving into fulfillment and logistical center actually this summer. But up until now, we fulfill all our own orders, even those big, large orders where it's 1,700 kilos. We're doing it. And so I'm in the office with them. We're packing up together. And then my husband, my mom, like those are like the core people, that day to day, day in and out, are really making Ashunta Sheriff Beauty, spin and rotate and grow and move. And of course, I have like just tons of family and friends, they all know who they are. They all know who they are that really support me. Some of my clients, who've just been awesome and posting and saying what they're using. Makeup artists, like who have just jumped in, like Nick Barros putting product on Lupita.
I saw that.
And on what's her name, Molly, the one who was in Killers of the Flower Moon. I can't remember her first name right now, but he used product on her, as well. And just seeing different makeup artists out in the world, like really just using the product. I think that's probably what brings me the most joy because I've been a makeup artist using brands. And when I was coming up, we didn't have a lot of independent brands.
No.
The brands that we were using were pretty mainstream brands at that time, but I definitely had a kit that had makeup artist founded brands.
Yeah.
And I want to lean into that because Bobbi Brown, Laura Mercier, that was staple in my kit. Those were staple things in my kit. And, the things that anything that Kevin O'Quan and Sam Fine have said to use, I'm like, I'm getting that too. Black opal,
Yes.
was always in my kit. So there's just, things that were always there. And I'm hoping that Ashunta Sheriff Beauty can become that staple for makeup artists, for pro makeup artists out here in the world as well, because the products are made with you in mind, long wearing, waterproof, transfer resistant, all the stuff that we get tired of, like having to run and touch up. I'm thinking of you, and down to formulation that it's safe, and clean and paraben free. We're working on our clean certifications, our Credo cleans now.
Amazing.
And
are you already in touch with Credo?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yep. So we're doing that now, and I'm excited to just really transition the brand fully clean.
Oh my gosh, that would be huge for Credo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you don't see a lot of product with my kind of pigmentation
100%.
in
That's
the
what I'm
clean
thinking
space. Vegan, paraben free,
Yes.
absolutely, because we can have all kind of substitutions for those ingredients, but clean is a whole nother bracket. And we have a couple of clean items in our line, but then they're not everything. And so I was like, you know what, let's just make the whole line clean. So it's going to be a big undertaking. It may change some formulations, talking with some chemists, but they're like, you'll still have your neons. And I'm like, okay.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't let go of my
icons.
Those are the icons.
Those are the icons. I want to see you at Coachella next year.
I need to be I need to be at Coachella. I should have a whole booth there.
100%.
We should be doing neon eye looks for people for that night. What?
Yes.
Coachella, you heard it.
Coachella, you heard.
Get Ashunta Sheriff Beauty there. We will come all days.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ashunta. I am so honored to speak with you. I mean, for you to even make the time, for you to come here, like, I understand how valuable your time is. I know, like, how busy you are and how many things you have going on, and you really made the time, and you really, like, and you're so giving, and you're so sharing, and you don't have to tell anybody any of this stuff. You could be like, you know what, girl, you got it. But you hit them with the real deal and the real information, and I just really appreciate you. So thank you so much, Ashunta.
Oh, thank you for having me, Delina. I appreciate this so much. You're the sweetest.
Thank you.